mode.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's noon, and this is the product sales team. We're going to wait one more minute to just let a few more people sign in, and then we'll be starting our lunch and learn. And we might have to have everyone mute if they're not talking, so I hear some background sound. So we are going to start. No, we're going to start right about now. I've waited a couple minutes. So we're going to go ahead with our cookie lunch and learn. This is the product sales team, and speaking right now is Mary Ann Brell in the New City office. We've got Roberta Parego in the Poughkeepsie office, and Liz Favola in the Montgomery office, and Aurora Orozco in the Pleasantville office on the call. So we're going to show you a few slides, talk about a few things that we think are timely for you, and then we will take questions after we've gone through a few slides for things we're sure you want to know about. So welcome to the Lunch and Learn. I'm going to go on to the next slide. And today our hot topics are, we're going to talk about assigning March booth cookies to girls, because we know people have a lot of questions about that. We are going to talk about what to do with digital cookie in-person delivery orders that have come in since you placed your initial order. What are you going to do with those? And we're also going to talk about the cookie exchange tab. Next slide. Thank you. So our March booth cookies, some people just finished selling on Sunday, and some have been done for a couple of weeks. Well, to assign your March booth cookies, we've got to go to the Girl Orders tab. And do we want to do that live, or shall I just go through these?
We'll do that live. I just wanted to show the steps in case people...
Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to go to the Girl Orders tab, which is right there on your dashboard, and you will see on the bottom row are cookies that have a minus there, and that means you have cookies that are not assigned to girls. To assign the cookies to girls, you're going to click on the girl name, and you're going to put in a number under the cookie booth column. There are two different columns. There's one that says cookie booth, and if you look above that column, it will say $4, or the special booth column, and that refers to the $5 boxes. You'll see that right in the column.
Okay, so now we'll go into ebudde. That's not the right place. And we're going to go to...
You need to be in a troop. There you go.
Okay, so you can see this troop's been active. The girls have cookies assigned. But if you look at the bottom where it says difference, you'll see that there's 288 boxes that have not been assigned. So this troop had a booth sale, and they sold 270 of those 288 boxes. They have 5 girls, and everyone participated in the booth sale. So each girl is going to get 54 boxes of cookies. But some of those cookies were Toffee-Tastics and s'mores, and those are called special booth cookies. So they have to be accounted for in a different column. So we're going to give each girl 50 boxes of the core varieties, the $4 varieties, and 4 boxes of the special cookies. So the way we do that is to click on the girl's name, and then we click on add a transaction. Now you get this little green box here, and so I'm going to put something in there so that I know what booth sale this was. So I'm going to put Acme. Okay, we sold at Acme. And I'm going to give this girl 50 boxes under Cookie Booth. And I'm going to go under Special Booth and give her the 4 boxes for the special cookies. You would use Special Other if a girl brought you a goal-getter order for Toffee-tastic or s'mores. You would enter them here because this is the same way you're going to enter cookies for goal-getter orders. And if a girl had a goal-getter order for a core variety cookie, you would use the Cookie Other column. But today, right now, we're using Booth. So I've entered those cookies, and I'm going to click on OK, and then I'm going to click Save.
Roberta, I want to point out something here. Many people use this screen as figuring out how much girls owe. So many people use that box to the right where it says paid. They might put in $220 for the 54 boxes, 50 at $4 and 4 at $5 is $220, just to make it clear that the girl doesn't owe for those boxes.
Right. So we'll do that for the next girl.
Okay.
So now I'm going to go back to the summary screen. And now you can see this number has been reduced to 234 because I assigned 54 boxes of cookies. So now we're going to go to Emily and add a transaction for her. I'm going to put in the name of the booth. And this is optional. You don't have to put this in, but especially if you do several booth sales or you have active girls who come back with goal-getters, or maybe girls selling in digital cookie that are going to have in-person orders, you might want to put down here, what was this from? Why did I add these boxes? So it's a good idea to use it, but it is optional. And cookie special is 4. So now I'm going to put over here that she did pay $220. We know she didn't pay it. It got paid at the booth. But at least it shows that she doesn't owe me any money for any cookies. Okay. Now I'm going to return to the summary view. Oh, no, I'm not, because I didn't save. See, eBuddy is very good. It reminds you to do those things. So now we go back to the summary screen. And I would proceed to do that for each of the girls. I'll do just one more. And a transaction. Put in the booth name. Booth 50. Special booth 4. And I'm going to put $220. And I'm going to hit OK and save. Now you can move directly on to the next girl by going to this screen, but I'm going to go back to the summary and you'll see that there's still 126 boxes that need to be assigned. Okay, so by the end of cookie season, before you submit final rewards, this number should be a 0. Otherwise, you've sold some cookies and you didn't assign them to anybody, or you may have had those cookies left over, and that's possible. But if you did sell all your cookies, you want to make sure that every girl gets the credit that she is supposed to get. Okay.
And this is the information that eBuddy uses for rewards. So you want that information to be up to date, so girls get what they're entitled to as far as rewards go.
Yes. Okay, so the next...
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Marianne.
So the next thing we're going to talk about and just show you what you want to do is digital orders. So that's the digital order card, in-person delivery orders. This year we have the digital cookie open through May 1st. So you may be getting orders now that you want to know, what am I going to do with those? So what you should do is collect the orders from the troop. I would suggest that you come up with a date that you want the orders by, and then total what orders you need, what cookies you need to get from the cupboard, and then place an order in the cupboard to go pick up those cookies. And once you get them, then assign the cookies to the girls in the same way we just showed you. But you could also use the cookie exchange to find cookies. Cookie exchange is a new tab in eBuddy this year.
Right. Go ahead.
So the cookie exchange tab is good for for a few things. So if you have too many cookies and you want to list them in cookie exchange, you can go to the cookie exchange tab and then fill in the number of boxes you have by the variety. And then when someone is looking for cookies, they will find you because eBuddy has your email address there. This is within your service unit. This cookie exchange tab is for use within your service unit. Those are the only people who will see what cookies you've listed in cookie exchange.
And we're going to show you this when we finish the general introduction to it. We're going to show everybody.
So we'll show you the process of using the transactions tab to transfer cookies from your troop to the troop that is getting the cookies from you. So by doing that, you will see that the other troop then, once the cookies are transferred, the troop that got the cookies from you is now responsible for payment, and they've also got those extra boxes in their girl orders that they can assign to girls who have sold those cookies. Now, the cookie exchange tab doesn't reduce, if you sold 2 boxes, it doesn't reduce 2 boxes of Samoas from your list. You have to do that. So I think it's a great idea to keep, the best way to use that cookie exchange is to keep it up to date. If you've moved cookies to someone else or girls have sold cookies, you can use that at all times to be your digital scratch pad, reducing cookies that are now sold or adding cookies to it, so that anytime you're out and you want to know how many you have left of something, if you have cookies available, you could look on that cookie exchange tab from your phone to see what you have. Next slide. By the same token, you can use that cookie exchange tab to let people know. You'll see, Roberta will show us the screen, but you could list the kinds of cookies you're looking for, and you could potentially find the variety right within your service unit. So again, on the cookie exchange tab, you'll be able to email the person who listed that the cookies are available from their troop, and then you'll take them. And like we said before, the responsibility for paying for those cookies now are shifted to your troop once you've gotten the cookies from the first troop.
And I'm going to have to go out of this. Wait a minute. Maybe I can make.
Okay, so you're going to go to live.
Wait a minute. Yeah. But, oh, here it is. Okay, now I see it. Where am I going? eBuddy. Okay, so we're going to go to the cookie exchange tab. We're still in this troop that we were assigning cookies from. So now after I assigned all those cookies, I would still have 18 boxes of cookies left because we sold 270 out of 288. So I'm going to put in here what I have left in case somebody wants them. So I have 2, 3, 4, 2, 3 s'mores, and 4 toffees. I think that's what I wanted to put in there. Yep, okay. And now I can see what I have left over. Nobody else can see it yet though. So I have to click on submit. Okay, and my offering was updated. So now I'm going to go into a different troop. Okay, this troop needs cookies. So to find cookies, I look on this screen and I can see somebody has 2 boxes of Savannah Smiles and 3 boxes of trefoils and 4 boxes of dosies, 2 tags and 3 s'mores and 4 toffee tastics. Okay, so I want some trefoils. So I'm going to click here and I can see that this troop, that's the troop I just entered them in, has trefoils. And it shows me the service unit. So I'm going to email that person and say, hey, Roberta, guess what? I would like 2 of your trefoils. Okay. But I also want some tags. Let's see who has the tags. Oh, I'm in luck. It's the same troop that has the tags. Okay, I'm going to email her and tell her I'm going to take 2 of her trefoils and I'm going to take 1 of her tags. Okay. So here I am. Now I'm going to go back into the troop that has the cookies. And I am going to be able to sell 2 of my trefoils. Not sell, but transfer. So I'm going to have 1 trefoil left, and I'm going to have 1 tag left. So now I'm going to submit that to update it. But I'm not done. I have to go to my transactions tab, and I have to move those cookies from my troop to the other troop so that they're responsible to pay for them. They can assign them to their girls who sold them, and they're out of my hands. So I'm going to add a transaction. I don't know if you have to put this date in there, but I'm just going to fill it in. Please, if you're doing an order to a cupboard, do put the date and time that you want to pick up. It's very important to us. Okay, now I'm not sending these cookies to a cupboard. I'm sending them to a troop. And the troop number is 10004. Okay, and I am giving them 2, not cases.
Not cases.
Careful. Be careful. 2 packages of trefoils and 1 package of tag-alongs. Always remember to tab after your last entry so it totals here. I'm going to click OK.
Roberta, can you just go back to that? Just click Add a Transaction again, please. Okay. I just want to show it says product movement above the contact information. So you're removing product from this troop, and the other option here is add product. But if you're transferring from one to the other, you want it to say remove, and that's the natural default.
Right. Okay. So OK, and I'm going to save that. And if I go into the other troop that just received the cookies, which of course you can't, but I can, there's where those 3 boxes show up in their transactions, reading the 1 tag and the 2 trefoils. Okay.
You want to click on the sales report while you're there also?
Sure.
I just wanted to show that over on the packages received, which Roberta could just move her arrow over there and show there's where the financial responsibility has shifted to the troop. So it's showing those 3 boxes, and they'll be counted into the totals.
Right.
On what's owed.
Right. So that cookie exchange can be really, really helpful when you have either goal-getter orders or you have those in-person DOC orders. Because you might get a lot of those in the next couple of weeks, and it might be worth a trip to the cupboard. But if you only get 1 or 2 and you only need a few boxes, you might be able to find them this way and make arrangements to physically get them from the leader who has them. And she's going to be in your service unit, so chances are it's not going to be difficult to get to her or him to get those cookies. So I think this is a great feature this year, and I think it will help all of you out. While we're on the sales report, I want to point out a couple things that has nothing to do with what we've been talking about, but this is where you're going to find your PGA for your initial order, and it's based, you can see PGA selling and PGA registered. So this one is based on all the girls that were in your troop. In this case, every girl in the troop did sell. But if you had girls who didn't sell, that would show up here as a different PGA. But it's the PGA selling that we're basing the extra 5 cents on. So if you had girls in your troop that were no longer active or they didn't sell, it's not going to hurt you because it's this one that we're figuring that extra 5 cents on. And this is where you'll see it. It's a little bit funky, I think, but you'll see under cookie, now this is the core varieties, that you are getting an extra 5 cents a box. If this had zeros, you wouldn't be earning the extra 5 cents a box. And on the specialty, the same thing. Now, this one doesn't show the regular rate because we're in the demo and we probably didn't put that information in, but yours should show you 70 cents here and 70 cents here. Okay, let's go back to this. And so we did all of those. And now I think we're ready for questions, general questions or questions about what we've covered. So does somebody want to, oops. There we go. Let's see. Oh, I know one other thing that I wanted to mention while we were talking about digital cookie. We stop the transmission of digital cookie orders into eBuddy at the end of the initial order period. Actually, we were a couple days late this year because we thought it was an automatic that was set up in eBuddy, and it wasn't. We had to push a button. So on March 11th, we pushed that button, and we stopped the transmission of digital order cookies into eBuddy. So if you've been watching your digital cookie site, you may have seen that there were more orders that came in, and you're not seeing them in eBuddy yet. You will see them once we reopen that, which we should do that actually today, and then you'll see them in there. So you may already have orders for in-person delivery that you just aren't seeing in eBuddy yet, because we have not started the flow again. And the reason we do that is because we have to stop everything at one point after initial order so that reports can be run and PGAs can be determined and all that kind of stuff. So I just did want to mention that. And so by the end of this week, hopefully, everything's going to be the way it should be for the regular season. We'll have closed the preseason, and all those cookies will move into the regular season that you sold. You should see all of your digital cookie orders. So you're going to see some things changing in eBuddy, and that's why. Does anybody see any questions that weren't answered that they want to answer?
Someone's asking about delivery, when we are going to get delivery, and we don't have dates yet. We expect those to come in this week, but we haven't announced dates because we're still waiting for the truckers to give us a schedule.
And we have 3 different agents. So one of the agents did send us a schedule. They do the least number of service units, so their schedule is a little easier to prepare. And we just got their schedule in. So we're hoping in the next day or two that we get a draft. We usually get a draft schedule from the agents. We look at it, make sure that it's the way it should be. For example, if you could only do a morning delivery and they've put you down for an afternoon, we'll let them know, hey, this service unit had to have morning, you got to switch it. And then they'll do whatever changes we tell them need to be made, and then they'll send us a final. And at that time, we will be entering that information into eBuddy, and we will send the service unit cookie chairs in email in eBuddy once we've entered all of the dates and the schedules for signing up for spots. So the service unit will let you know as troop leaders when you can go in and when your delivery is and when you can go into eBuddy and sign up for a slot.
Can you go into, people are asking about placing an order in eBuddy for their goal getter orders. Mm-hmm. And I think we should just quickly go through placing a transaction in the cupboard.
Yep.
So you would use this to fill your DOC in-person delivery orders if you're getting them from the cupboard. And you would use this for goal getter orders or even for a booth order. So you're going to go to the transaction screen, and I'll let Roberta talk.
Okay. So to transaction screen, and you're going to click add a transaction. And as I said before, you're going to put in the date and time that you want to pick up. And that's very important for the cupboards for a number of reasons. We like, if we can, to have your cookies ready when you come, and we want to make sure we have the cookies that you need. So for a booth sale, we would like you to put that request in at least 5 days ahead of time. 3 days is really kind of the minimum to guarantee that we'll have the cookies, because we have to notify the warehouse a day or two before we want them to deliver the cookies. So we can't just turn around and go from having no trefoils to having trefoils by noon today because you want to pick them up. So for booth sales, it's extremely important that you put it in ahead of time. So now you're going to put in the date and time, and then you come to the type. If you're doing a goal getter, or you're doing an in-person from Digital Cookie, which is really a goal getter, it's just that it came a different way, it's going to be normal. So you're going to leave this as normal. And you're going to select from a cupboard. So we'll do this cupboard. And since it's a normal, it's a goal getter, you're going to be ordering in boxes. So you put the number of boxes, and you need to be careful between the case and the box column that you're ordering in the right place.
Can I point out also that once you've chosen a cupboard, at the bottom, this is the demo site that Roberta has open right now, so I see these dates are not right in the bottom. But once you choose a cupboard, eBudde shows you in the box at the bottom when the cupboard's open. So this one, it says Thursday pickups 5:45. This year it's Wednesday pickups until 5:45, but there are details right there on this sheet, on this screen, to tell you when the cupboard's open.
And if you choose a time that it's not open, you're going to get a message. We can't submit your order because pickup has to be within the hours of operation. So you will get a message. Now, I want to point out, I said before, make sure you tab after your last entry. So I put that 3 in, and I tabbed, and this changed to 25. If I didn't tab, I would have had 22 boxes here and no Toffee-Tastics. So make sure you do that tab, and then you're going to click, OK, and save. And one thing that I didn't point out is the product movement. In this case, since I'm ordering cookies for my troop, I'm going to add to what I have in my troop. I'm adding product from the cupboard. So in this case, it should be add. If you were transferring cookies to another troop, that would have been removed, which is what we showed you before. So it should default to add if you're ordering from a cupboard anyway.
Also, if you were ordering, you don't have to just have to place an order in cases and packages. If you needed 100 boxes and you put in 100 to Savannah Smiles, it will figure out how many cases and boxes you need. You don't have to do that math.
Right. And if you know you need 12 boxes or 24 boxes of mints, you can put it in the case column. But just be careful, because you certainly won't have to take them if you come to pick up and you say, oh my gosh, why are there 20 cases or why are there 2 cases of Savannah Smiles? I only need 2 boxes. We'll fix it. But it's better to be right the first time. Okay, so that was for a goal getter order. So now let's do one for a booth and see how that's different. And a transaction again. And we're going to pick them up on Friday at 5 p.m. Now this one should be changed to booth. Does it really make a difference? Not really, but it makes a difference to us because we like to know how many people are doing booth sales. We like to know that you're selling at a booth, for one thing. For another thing, If you do it all in cases and you've got 25 cases and this says normal, we're going to assume it's a booth, and we're going to pull it that way. But, we'd like to be sure, and we like to know where you're selling. Sometimes if we're really, really busy, we can't ask, but we do like to know and make sure you've put that booth into eBuddy. So change it to booth. And then you're going to pick up from a cupboard, and you're going to choose the cupboard. So let's say you're going to pick up at this is a neighborhood kind of cupboard in Hyde Park. This is by appointment only, so she doesn't have regular hours. It's at her house, and she'll work with you. So what you're going to need to do is contact her. So her information, I'm not sure if it shows up in here because we didn't set this up right. We can go back in the live site and see. I think I think this is still going to be my information. So it might, if you go back to the cupboard, you might be able to see at the cupboard settings who to contact, or she may have to contact you. I wish I knew the answer to that question, but I don't. Okay, so you're going to order for your booth sale. You're going to order by the case. For booth sales, we order by the case. Oops. Okay, so I'm going to click OK, and I'm going to click Save. Okay, so those are the only differences. It's really just in the type of order and the fact that for booth sales you're going to order in full cases.
When you place an order in the cupboard, once it's in, you can't change it. If you want to change it, you can contact customer care or product sales, but it gets locked once it's in there. It's fine with us if you want to change it, but you will not be able to do that.
This is the regular site, and I'm gonna see what happens if I want to order cookies from Hyde Park. Yeah, it is my email that comes in there.
But that's just for the person placing the order. Choose the cupboard and see what happens.
Yeah.
Because that will stay that way.
Hyde Park's not active in here yet. Yep, it stays. Okay, here's her note. By appointment, I will make every effort to meet you. But, is there additional information? No. Oh. Okay. So I guess that cupboard person is going to have to get in touch with you, unless we can ask them to put a way to contact them in there. But then again, they might prefer to make the contact themselves. So, okay. Let's go back to, do we have any other questions that we want to go over?
Liz and Aurora, do you see any?
I think that we should go over again how they see the digital cookie additional orders for in-person delivery and how they can account for them in eBuddy.
Okay. That we have to go to the regular site for. Okay, so you want to know how a troop is going to see. Oops.
As a troop leader, how she will see, or someone was asking if she should have the parents print it out, and I said that they can have a parent print it out if they want, but they as troop leaders can see these orders also.
Yeah, so now these are in-person orders in digital cookie, and like I said, they've been stopped. I'm assuming that when we open the flow again that these will change and this will stay updated, but it will probably include I'm not sure. I think it's going to include everything, so it won't be much help anymore. But there's other ways. You can go to reports. You can select DOC orders by girl, and you can either take the whole spreadsheet or you can filter it. So really, all you're really interested in is to find out the in-person ones, and you can put a date in here. So once we release the flow, you'll want to put the actual dates. You'll want to go probably from March 11th forward. So let's do that. And it should show me that there aren't any. Yeah, I'm not seeing any, but that's because we stopped the flow. So if you, oh crap, that was okay.
Once it's reopened, if you did those same dates, once the flow is not stopped, you should see activity.
Yeah, so I'll take the dates out and we'll just do delivered in person, and you'll see what the spreadsheet looks like. So you'll see the girl's name and her orders. It's got the order number, the date it was placed, and the boxes, and the total amount of money. So this is where you can see the boxes that the girl needs. And since the dates are in there, once, as we said, we turn it back on again, any date in here that's after March 11th, you'll know that you need to supply those cookies. If there's a date of March 11th, that's a little iffy because we shut it off in the middle of the day. So there may be orders in the evening of March 11th that you need to fulfill. But this is where you'll be able to see all that information. So again, it's under reports. It's DOC orders by girl, and you can filter it by delivered in person. Okay.
Okay, another question that went with this is how would ebudde know that you needed boxes for digital? Is ebudde going to say you owe again for those boxes once you're placing an order in transactions? And the answer is no, because if you looked at girl orders, there would probably be a minus. There should be a minus in dollars. Now this troop, we already saw all their orders were before that deadline date. But you see on the top row here, that's an in-person delivery. I can tell that from the left-hand side where it says DLVR, that's in person. Mm-hmm. And then all the way to the right, it's a negative number. That means there were no cookies ordered for this to fill this order. So when you later order those cookies and you put in here that this girl picked up those boxes, then it's going to cancel those minuses out.
Right, it'll balance it out in the end. Anything else that we should look at? Are there any questions that you answered privately but you think maybe people would be interested in?
I think that we had some people come in late and they wanted to know how to assign the girls, the booth cookies to the girls. Oh. And I just told them that they can see the instructions on page 16 in the Troop Cookie Book, mm-hmm. and that this webinar will be on our website, hopefully later today, or if not, maybe sometime tomorrow.
Right.
And they could see it then.
Yeah, somebody asked, I saw, if they could get PDF of the slides, but we're going to have the webinar up there. So, that should be fine. If you really need a PDF of the slides, send one of us an email, and we can get them out to you.
And I wanted to mention that sometimes when you're going to a booth sale, if you want to take some cookie a smaller amount, you can put in a few boxes. If you wanted to go with 4 toffee tastics, you could order just 4 boxes, not a case.
Roberta, can we go over the sign-ups for the April-May booths? I thought that the next sign-up was on Wednesday, on the 27th, but I just want to confirm with you because someone wanted to know when the next sign-up was.
I believe that's correct.
And it's, again, for 1 MTA spot and 1 mall or Acme spot, right?
Yes, you'll be able to add 1 more mall spot, which includes Acme, or 1 more MTA spot. And then on, I believe it's Saturday, everything will be open for as many as you want to select.
Do we have any other questions, Liz?
Someone's asking, how do we see how much we owe exactly for those past booth sales? And I think you just have to look at your sales report, and you will see exactly how much you owe overall.
But the March booth cookies haven't come over.
Right. Not those. And someone is asking about showing the first 2 slides again, but again, these will be up on our website, hopefully by tomorrow, so that you can see them at your leisure.
And somebody also mentioned when you filter for DOC cookies, you might want to select in-person and donated as opposed to just in-person. If you want to see customers who have donated in addition to buying. However, you don't do anything with that donated box. That's an automatic. You don't have to get that box. So that's why we say just look at in person, because that'll show you just what you're going to need to provide to the girl to deliver to her customer. But yes, you can see in person and donated and see if any of those people donated as well.
And when you place an order in the cupboard, it shows as pending to you until you have picked up the order. Then counsel tells ebudde that it's been picked up. So when it says pending and you're seeing it says pending, your order is placed. We use the verb unpenned once you've picked it up and taken it away. So we know about the order if it says pending.
Yes, thank you, Marianne. And if we don't unpend it the minute that you pick it up, don't worry about it. Sometimes when we're really busy in the cupboard, it could take a few days before we are able to go back and unpend all those orders. Anything else? I'm not seeing anything else myself.
Someone's asking about the sales report, different information on the sales report, and she wants to know, does the sales report show booth sale total amount versus troop initial order? And it does not. It tells you how many boxes you've gotten and then how much is owed to the council, what your troop profit is. It does not isolate booth versus initial order.
Right. And all of the payments are made through the ACH that finance does, the first one of which will be on May 3rd. So, they're gonna figure out how much you owe them. If you want to know how much you owe for a particular booth pickup, you just have to do the math yourself. Just remember to multiply the $5 cookies separately, and then add your 2 totals together.
Someone's asking, for council-sponsored cookie booths, can girls put up signage if they want to use cookie earnings toward Bronze Award? There are rules in each place that we have council-sponsored booths, and most, I would say all of the malls, the only signage that can be up is can't be hand done. So if you could do a little sign, excuse me, computer generated fonts, you probably could put up a sign to say what you plan to use the profits for. I strongly suggest that you do a little role playing with the girls and have them ready to talk about what they plan to do with the profits, because that's why customers are buying. They're buying to support the girls, and it's important that the girls own that that's why they're there, and they can talk about why they are selling cookies. I don't see any other new information, new questions.
Okay, I don't either, so I think that we're ready. Let's go back to, yay.
So we do plan to do a lunch and learn on April 16th, again at noon, and we will send out in Headlines and Happenings on April 12th a link to the lunch and learn. We will probably again do an email on that Monday to send you a link so that you can sign up that day. So it also says go to our website where we will have the link and click on cookies for volunteers and you will find it. But that's where you will find the wrap up of this also. You will find the recording of this on the volunteer page of our cookie page on the girlscoutshh.org website.
Right. Oops. And you can always contact customer care if you have questions. If they can't answer your question, they will send it on to one of us. But they are well equipped to answer most general questions. If we start getting some questions that we didn't anticipate, we will send them an answer for those questions. So that's a good place to go if you need help. Also, of course, your community or your service unit cookie chair is a good person to go to because they generally have the answers to all your questions as well, and they can help you with ebudde. But of course, a lot of them do work full time, so you might only be able to reach them in the evenings. So don't get frustrated if you contact them in the morning and you don't hear anything back until that evening, because most of them do have full-time jobs and they're busy, busy ladies and men. Okay, I believe, yes, that we are finished with that. And so I will say, on behalf of the whole team, thank you all for joining in. I think sharing the question, somebody might not realize they have a question until someone else asks it, and then they say, oh my goodness, that was a good question. I don't know that either. So we hope that these are being valuable to you. We thank you for taking your lunchtime to spend it with us. And until next time, have a good day.